While every quality, mechanech and mechaneches, every educator is a hero and literally changes lives every single day, sadly there's a reality out there of students that fall through the cracks. Students who learn differently, who understand differently, who are limited in certain ways, but overqualified in other ways. And these students struggle tremendously. For many of them, they're talented enough to make it through elementary school, even through middle school. But when it comes to high school, many of these students fall apart and something inside of them breaks and all types of terrible consequences ensue. There was a young boy from a beautiful Jewish family. His older siblings, one after the next, were stars. They were brilliant. They were perceptive. They were popular. And his parents had hopes and dreams that he would follow on exactly the same trajectory. Sadly, or maybe not so sadly, he wasn't born with the same qualities and talents that the rest of his siblings were. He had other qualities and talents, perhaps in excess of his siblings, but he was sent to the same educational system. When he was in elementary school, he was able to fake it and make it. And even in middle school, somehow he kept it together. But by the time he got to Mesivta, by the time he got to high school, he was so frustrated. He was in so much internal pain. He knew it wasn't the right school for him. He couldn't hack it. He should have gone to a school that could handle it. But he didn't have the heart to tell his parents that he would be the one child that, at least from his limited perception, would be a failure. And therefore, when it came time to enroll in high school in Mesivta, he enrolled in the same high school, in the same Mesivta, and somehow was able to make it through the entrance exam, the Bechinas, and somehow was accepted. But day in and day out, and month in and month out, he was in such internal pain. He was in such internal turmoil. He literally would go to sleep at night crying, and no one knew about it. He just couldn't bring himself to what he thought would devastate his parents. And a year passed, and 2 years passed, and 3 years passed. And one day his father says to him, "Come, we're going for a walk." And his father takes him to the shore. Not far away from their home was the ocean. He took him for a walk, and he says to him, "Tzaddik, something is not okay with you. I could sense that you have inner turmoil. I beg you, please share. Don't worry. It doesn't make a difference what a bombshell you're going to drop on me. Me and your mother love you unconditionally, and we want you to be successful, and we want you to be happy and fulfilled, and we could tell that you're not. I beg you, I implore you, please tell me." The young man didn't have a heart to tell his father. But when he realized that the doors of communication were open, he asked his father a different time if they could take that walk yet again. And they did. And he did the hardest thing he ever did in his life. He shared with his father the truth. And it hurt him more than anything in his whole life. He expected that it would hurt his father. But the reaction was the exact opposite. His father began to cry, hot scalding tears, and he hugged him until he had no breath left. And he said, "Why didn't you tell us? Don't worry about it. You're not a disappointment. You're exactly who you're supposed to be. And we've been disappointing you by not realizing exactly who you are. I beg you for mechila, for forgiveness. Please, we'll help you. We'll provide you with assistance. You'll be successful in life in a different way than your brothers and sisters. Don't worry about it. You are uniquely you." And this was the first day of this young man's life. It was acceptance, and it was the opportunity to get the truth out there. You know, during Aseres Yemei Teshuvah, during Yemei Rachamim V'Haslichos, we say the Yud Gimel Midas, the 13 attributes of Hashem's Rachmanis, of His mercy and His compassion. He's Rachum, merciful. He's Chanon, He's compassionate. And it's amazing, and each of those things shows the incredible beneficence of the Ribbono Shel Olam, His kindness and His Rachmanis on us. But there's one word that kind of gets us. All the way at the end of the Yud Gimel Midas, we say V'Rav Chesed. He does so much chesed, so much kindness, it's abundant. But we say ve'emes, and truth. And for myself, and I'm sure many other people included, the word emes almost gives us a step back. That's kindness? Do we really want the truth to come out? The answer is yes. The Ribbono Shel Olam is our Father, no less than a flesh and blood Father. And the Ribbono Shel Olam, we can turn to Him and say, Ribbono Shel Olam, you're the only one that's Yadeh Machshavos V'Leib. You're the only one that notes our innermost sentiments. And we turn to you on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and we make ourselves vulnerable as we bare our soul, and we say, Ribbono Shel Olam, we're projecting a certain image. People think certain things about us, but it's not us. And maybe because of that, we're lacking in fulfillment and happiness, and we're not fulfilling our potential. Ribbono Shel Olam, you're the only one that knows the truth, and we're willing to share that truth. When we do that, that's the first day of the rest of our life. These Aseres Yemei Teshuvah, these Yemei Harachamim v'Haslichas, let's open ourselves up. Let's make ourselves vulnerable. Let's say, Rabbeinu Shalom, you know our strengths and our qualities. You know our weaknesses and our struggles. Rabbeinu Shalom, this is who we are. We're going to embrace it. And you as the Avarachman, you as the merciful and compassionate Father, you'll embrace us back. And Be'ezer Hashem, this Aseres Yemei Teshuvah will be the first day of the rest of our lives.